Hello everyone, welcome along to this Vinyasa class which is going to be focusing on our hips. It was recorded, or the voiceover comes from a Zoom live class, so hopefully you'll be able to enjoy following along with the breath. And just a note to listen to your own body and know that you're your own best guide, so watching your own depth in each of these postures. Hope you have nice juicy hips by the end of it. So coming to find yourself lying down, soles of your feet together, let your knees relax wide, bring one hand onto your belly, one hand onto your heart. If your knees are high up away from the mat, maybe taking a couple of cushions or blocks, books, whatever you've got to just support your thighs. And then once you've found your comfy shape on the mat, take a moment to shimmy your shoulder blades a little further underneath you. Taking a few breaths just to allow yourself to arrive on your mat. And take a few moments to notice your surroundings. So perhaps you can hear some noise in your house. Perhaps you can feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Perhaps you can notice the parts of your body connected to the mat. Just taking a few breaths to arrive and become present. And then from this stillness, start to notice the inflow and outflow of your breath. If you can, breathing in and out of your nose. And start to extend your breath to a count of 4. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling for 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhaling 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhaling, really feeling your breath filling up your belly. And exhaling, letting your belly soften. Inhaling, filling up your belly. And exhaling, letting your belly soften. And just taking some time to really connect in with your breath. Feeling the rise of your belly as you inhale. Feeling your belly fall as you exhale. Inhaling, belly inflates. Exhaling, belly softens. And just take a moment to allow an intention for your practice to arise. What do you need to keep you present in the next hour? Working with our hips today, often a place that bring up a lot of sensation. What can you call to mind as a focus to be able to sit with whatever arises? Accepting any frustrations, accepting any challenges, inviting and encouraging in whatever arises. Taking a few more breaths. And if nothing comes to mind, just embracing that too. Everything changes, nothing stays the same. Sealing all of our intentions with a sound of Om. Feeling free to just listen or join in as you feel comfortable. Taking a deep inhale to chant. Gently releasing your hands from your body. And if you've just joined us, coming to lie down on your backs. Everyone, if you're lying on your backs, let your legs extend back long. You're going to come into Pavana Muktasana or wind removing pose, drawing your right knee in towards your chest, interlacing your fingers just below your right knee, and start to draw your right knee down towards your right armpit, squeezing that knee close towards you. And then letting that right leg extend out long. Bring the left knee in towards your chest. Interlace your fingers just below the left knee. Squeeze it in towards you. Keep extending your right heel out away from you. Lengthening through the front of the right hip. And then releasing that leg long. Take both knees this time in towards your chest. Taking a hold of your shins and bringing your head up towards your knees, giving yourself a big little squeeze and cuddle. And then kick your feet to rock up to sitting cross-legged. If sitting cross-legged is difficult, bring a block or a pillow, something underneath your buttocks. Bring both hands out in front of you and start to fold forward. Maybe stacking your fists, bringing your forehead to rest on your fists. As you let yourself fold forward here, sending some breath down towards the lower back, the back of your hips. And coming up for a reverse tabletop. Take your hands just behind your hips, fingertips pointing to the front of the mat. Bring the soles of your feet hip distance apart and then press your buttocks up towards the sky. Lift your hips up away from the mat. Press down into your palms. Press into the soles of your feet. Gaze towards the ceiling. And then release down, this time crossing left leg in front of the right. Easy cross-legged, folding forward. Or maybe it's just hands on the mat. That might be enough of a stretch. Elevating the hips really helps if the hips are tight. So bringing a big book or something underneath your sitting bones. Keep folding forward. Breathe in and out of your nose. Again, reverse tabletop. Bring yourself upright, take the hands behind your hips, fingertips pointing forward, plant the feet hip distance, lift the buttocks up, press into the palms of the hands, lift the buttocks higher, gaze up. And exhale, release down. Just cross your shins, find your way back to a downward facing dog. So you might need to crawl yourself back along the mat. Lift the hips up high. Press into your palms and find that inverted V shape. Maybe taking a few breaths to just pedal out through the backs of your calves, bending one knee and then the other. We're going to move straight into our pigeon on the left side. So lift your left leg high towards the sky, three-legged dog. And then bring your left knee all the way down behind your left wrist. Maybe you need to come to your knees first. Walk your hands up so the left knee's bent out in front of you, the right leg's extended behind you. And then start to fold your way forward. Again, maybe you're just on your fingertips. Maybe you can lower down to rest your forehead onto something. Keep trying to extend the right toes towards the back of the mat. Keep sending some breath down towards the outside of the left hip. Bringing your hands back up underneath your shoulders. We're going to shift into shoelace. So keep that left knee bent out in front of you, but slide your right knee all the way to hug in behind the left knee. Separate your feet as wide as your mat, if not wider, and come to sit down, or again, recommend a little bit of elevation. Sit down, your buttocks in between your heels. If this is too difficult, it is a really challenging stretch. Bring the right leg to extend long and just take the left knee bent on top of the right. Sitting up in your shoelace, sweep your arms up overhead and allow your right elbow to bend, coming into a tricep stretch, letting the left hand catch the top of the right elbow. Bring the back of your head towards the back of the room a little more. Nice long spine. Maybe just holding here, or you could release the left hand all the way down to sneak it up. Maybe the fingertips catch a hold of one another. Keep lengthening through your spine. Keep grounding both sitting bones. Release the left hand if it's holding on to the fingertips. Everyone gently stretch the right arm overhead, taking a side stretch, reaching the right arm over towards the left side of the room, left hand planted on the mat. Inhaling, come back to center. Wherever you are, see if you can uncurl out of this. So bring the hands forward, step that right foot back, left foot back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here in your inverted V shape. Switching to the right side. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky. Any of the newbies, come with me, lowering that left knee to the mat first, then bringing the right knee behind the right wrist. Lowering down so that the right sitting bone is sitting on the floor. Maybe a block underneath the right sitting bone. Folding forward into your pigeon if your body is welcoming that. Otherwise, maybe just staying up onto the fingertips. We're opening into the front of the left hip, stretching into the outside of the right hip. If that shoelace posture was really challenging on the other side, maybe just stay in your pigeon. Otherwise, start to walk your hands back up. This time we bring that right knee in towards the middle of the mat. We hug the left knee all the way behind the right. Separate the feet and sit the buttocks down in between our heels or maybe onto a block. If it's okay, both knees stacked on top of one another. Otherwise, maybe coming into the half variation, left leg extended, right knee on top of the left. Add the arms, sweeping your arms up. Letting the left elbow bend this time, right elbow catching a hold of the left. Starting to draw the fingertips down in between the shoulder blades. Maybe that right hand can reach all the way down and bring the fingertips to meet one another. Keep trying to bring the spine upright, back of your head towards the back of the mat a little more. Everyone release the right hand down, side stretch. Let the left arm lengthen up and over towards the right side of the room. Press down into the left sitting bone. Breathe into the left ribs. And inhaling back to center. Wherever you are, see if you can crawl your way back to down dog, bringing the hands forward. Left toes reach back, right toes reach back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Maybe a sigh out of the mouth. Deep breath in. Letting it go. Next moment, walking the feet forward to squat, bringing your feet to the outsides of your hands and sitting your sit bones down. See if you can bring your hands to heart space, your elbows to the insides of your knees. And if your heels are high up away from the mat, again, just slide your books or pillows underneath your heels to give yourself something to rest into. Keep lifting your chest up. Releasing the hands down to the mat, coming out of this now. Lift the hips high. Heel toe your feet so that they're parallel. Take a halfway lift, inhaling your hands up onto your shins, finding a nice long back. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees, let your head drop. Maybe taking ragdoll, opposite hand to opposite elbow. It can be nice to take a gentle sway side to side. Then release the hands to dangle, bend the knees deeply. Start to uncurl your spine, rolling all the way up to an upward salute. Reach your hands up towards the sky, palms touch. And then draw your hands down through your midline, taking the hands onto your hips. So we're just going to have a little play with our hips here for a moment. Bring your peace fingers just underneath your hip bones. And then tilt your buttocks back and creating an arch in your lower spine. Imagining you had like a bowl of water in your pelvis, all the water would be falling out the front. And then reverse this, starting to tuck the tailbone towards your belly button, flattening through the lower back. And all the water in the pelvic bowl would be spilling out the back. And then take this again, just notice as you tilt the buttocks back, the flesh under your fingertips becomes soft. And then as you tilt the tailbone forward or tuck the pelvis under, the bits of tissue under your fingers become firm. See if you can just have a play with finding the midline for your pelvis, halfway between tight tissue and soft tissue. So just really trying to find a nice neutral place for our pelvis, for our hips. Once you think you've got it, release the hands down, Tadasana, mountain pose. Feel some length lifting up through the crown of your head. Feel your feet pressing into the mat. Let's start to flow. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky, gaze up.
Exhale, bowing forward, hinging at the hips, bending your knees as much as you need. Let your head drop. Inhaling, step your right foot back, find a low lunge, Anjaneyasana, right knee onto the mat, reach the arms up towards the sky. Hug your inner thighs in towards one another. Feel the pelvic floor lifting up, belly to spine. Taking 3 more breaths here. A little bit of dragging of that right knee towards the left heel. Exhale, hands to the mat, step to your downward facing dog. Inhale, ripple your spine forward to find plank. And as we exhale to cobra, lower the knees to the mat, lower the belly down to the mat. Inhale, cobra, peel shoulders back, shine heart forward. Exhale, press up, knees or toes. Downward facing dog, exhale. Inhale and sweep your right leg up towards the sky. Stepping the right foot forward between your hands for low lunge on the other side. Always an option to come down to your knees to step that right foot forward. Reaching arms up, low lunge. Squeeze inner thighs towards one another. Feel length through the middle of the torso. Let the shoulders drop down. Hands to the mat, back foot meets the front foot, halfway lift, inhaling, long spine, exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, press into your feet, rise tall, reaching the arms up to the sky. Exhaling the hands down through your midline, Tadasana, and again, inhale, sweep up. Use your breath, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left foot stepping back this time, low lunge, reaching arms to the sky. Squeezing inner thighs towards one another. Soft through the shoulders. Feeling that front right knee over the right ankle. Hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Rippling straight to your plank, inhale forward. Option to lower your knees, or maybe you can come halfway down chaturanga. Inhaling, cobra on your belly, or upward facing dog, just the tops of the feet and the hands pressing down. Draw the shoulders back. Downward facing dog, roll over the toes. Inhale, left leg high to the sky. Inhale, 3-legged dog. Option to come to the knees or step that left foot forward, low lunge, back knee to the mat, reach the arms to the sky. Really opening through the front of the right hip. Setting up your foundation, left knee above left ankle. Hands to the mat, back foot meets the front foot. Halfway lift as you inhale. Exhale to fold. Inhale, press into your feet, send the arms out wide, rise up. Exhaling the hands through the midline. Tadasana, let's change it up. Inhale, reach up, gaze to the sky, press the hips forward. Exhale, fold forward, bending the knees as much as you need, let the head drop. Take a halfway lift, inhaling long through the backs of the legs, long through your spine. Exhaling, place the hands down, stepping the feet back or jumping back to your plank. Inhale, forward, option to lower the knees, come down to the belly or maybe halfway down. Inhaling, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling, downward facing dog. We're going to inhale the left leg, starting with the left leg high towards the sky. Inhale. Exhale, left knee to left elbow, plank crunch. Inhale, sweep it back, 3-legged dog. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Inhale, sweep it back. This time, stepping the foot all the way forward to the outside of the left hand, dragon lunge. Remembering you can always take these from your knees and stepping that foot forward from your knees. In your dragon lunge, option to keep the right knee on the mat or maybe extending that right leg long. Keep extending the crown of your head forward. Pausing with your breath. Hello to your hips. Hello to any frustrations. Welcome them in. Releasing your right knee to the mat if it's not already on the mat. You're going to pick up the right foot and take it all the way off the mat to the left side of your mat. We're coming into a modified side angle. So maybe you bring the left elbow up to rest onto the left thigh. Maybe you can keep the left hand planted onto the mat, reaching the right arm back towards the front of the room. So find your own depth. Wherever you are, see if you can, rather than rounding through the right side of the ribs, see if you can close the bottom of the right ribs down towards the right hip so that both sides of your torso are long. Keep breathing. Releasing all 10 fingertips back to the mat. Lift up the right toes, placing them back into your low lunge, toes towards the back of the mat. We're going to just roll to the pinky toe edge of the left foot. So that front foot's just going to lift the big toe up away from the mat, winged dragon. Maybe you hold there, or maybe you can bring the left hand onto the left thigh and start to turn your torso towards the left leg. Twisted dragon. You might start to feel it into the outside of the left hip as you lift the left big toe away from the mat. Everyone, tuck the right toes under, step back, downward facing dog. Maybe holding in your down dog, or flashing it out with a vinyasa, rippling forward to plank, chaturanga, cobra or upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Right leg this time. Inhale, right leg up towards the sky, always option from the knees. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, lengthen the leg back. Exhale, right knee, right elbow. Inhale, back. Exhale, stepping it all the way to the outside of the right hand, dragon lunge. Keeping that left knee lifted or maybe lowering it. If it's too deep, bring your books, bring your pillows underneath your hands, come up onto your fingertips even, or even hands onto the front thigh. Ujjayi, breath in and out of the nose. And then we move into that modified extended side angle. Lower the left knee, pick up the left toes, take them all the way off the mat, off the right side of your mat. Keep finding the left fingertips reaching towards the front of your mat.
If this feels too deep, maybe bring the right elbow up onto the right thigh. Keep dropping that right sitting bone underneath you. Keep lengthening through that left side of your torso.
If your right hand's to the inside of the right knee, keep pressing the knee against the elbow against the knee. All 10 fingertips back to the mat. Lift up the left toes, bring them back to the back of the mat. Heel toe the right foot a little wider, winged dragon, lifting up the right big toe, rolling onto the pinky toe blade edge of the right foot. Maybe holding there or pressing the right hand into the right thigh, turning the torso towards that right thigh. Hello, hips. Releasing both hands back to the mat. Tuck the left toes under. Send the right foot back. Downward facing dog. Holding in your down dog or flashing it out. Vinyasa. Inhale to plank. Exhale, elbows over wrists, lowering to chaturanga or onto your belly. Inhaling cobra or upward facing dog. Exhaling downward facing dog. Take 5 breaths here. Just witnessing whatever is arising for you and trying not to fight it. Just moving with it. Letting it change. We're going to start with the left leg again, changing up our flow. Inhale, sweep your left leg up towards the sky. Exhale, warrior two. Step your left foot between your hands. Lower your right heel down towards the mat so that the front heel is in line with the arch of your back foot. And then rise up, inhaling up, sweeping that right arm back, reaching the left arm forward. Warrior two. Check that left knee's above the left ankle. The right inner arch is lifted by pressing a little into the pinky toe edge of your right foot. Extended side angle. Inhale, reach your left arm towards the front of your mat, maybe bringing left elbow to the front thigh, sweeping that right arm. See if you can, again, rather than arch through the side of the body, keep both sides of the body long. Hug that right shoulder blade down and in on the back of your ribs. See if you can turn your gaze a little towards your right bicep. Maybe that left hand can drop onto the mat or onto a block. Star pose. Inhale, rise up, press into your feet. Turn the left toes parallel with the right. Reach all 10 fingertips out towards the corners of the room. Feeling really expansive here. And then turn your heels in, sit down into goddess squat. Bending at the elbows, cactus your arms. Holding down in your squat for 5 breaths. Keep feeling your knees opening out towards the pinky toe edges of your feet. Keep sitting your tailbone down. Keep remembering that neutral pelvis. See if you can bring the buttocks under a little bit more. Inhale, reach up into star. Open out to warrior two on the right side. So you're going to lift the left heel up, reposition it, bringing the right toes towards the back of your mat, right fingertips towards the back of your mat. So warrior two on the other side. Extended side angle. Inhale, reach the right hand towards the back of your room or back of your mat. Let that right fingertips drop. Let the left arm sweep. Length through the sides of your body. Left inner thigh lifting. Maybe right elbow on the front thigh. Keep shoulder blades pinned in onto the back of your ribs. Shoulders away from ears. Staying with your breath. Inhale, rise up, find your star shape. Turning the right toes parallel with the left, reaching all 10 fingertips out. And sit into goddess. Turn your heels in, down into goddess squat. Holding here for 5 breaths, or maybe an extra challenge to lift your heels up away from the mat. Keep finding a nice aligned spine. Star pose, ground the heels. Inhale, reach out to the corners of the room. Turning back to your warrior two, left foot towards the front of the mat, right heel turns parallel with the back edge of your mat, gaze to the left fingertips. Extended side angle once more, reach the left arm forward, inhale. Exhale, sweeping that right arm. If you'd like to, maybe take a bind, bringing the right hand all the way down behind the left thigh and reach that left hand underneath you, crawling its way up the right wrist. Wherever you are, roll the right shoulder back, turn your gaze up towards the sky. Keep pressing out of the soles of your feet. Release up into your star, press into the left foot. Inhale, reaching out. Exhale, sit down, squat. Holding here. Or if you need to, take a little bit of juicy hips side to side. Reach up, inhale, star. Exhale to your warrior two, to the back of the mat. Right knee over right ankle, back leg, left leg straight and strong. Extended side angle, reach the right arm. Let it drop, sweeping the left arm, bringing it alongside your left ear. Keep trying to hug that right sitting bone underneath you, maybe taking the bind if it's in your practice. Good work, rising back up. Come into your star, inhale. And Prasarita Padasana, just folding all the way forward. Bringing your hands to maybe catch the back of your calves. Or maybe you bend the knees and just bring the hands to the back of your thighs. Wherever you are, trying to allow your forehead to drop down towards the floor. A big stretch up the back of your legs. And placing your right hand underneath your face, adding a twist. Sweep your left arm up towards the sky, and then let it reach through, all the way through to take a hold of the right calf. Your knees can bend as much as you need. See if you can turn your gaze up underneath the right armpit. Placing the left hand back into the midline, switch to the other side. Inhale, right arm high. Exhale, send the right arm all the way through towards the left calf. Turning your gaze underneath the left armpit. And place all 10 fingertips back towards the front of the mat. Pick up your left toes, turn them back towards the front of your mat. We're going to sit into Adho Matsyendrasana, half Lord of the Fishes twist. So bring the right knee all the way to the pinky toe edge of your left foot, and then sit your buttocks down. So you've got that left knee bent, pointing up towards the sky. Bring your left fingertips behind you. Inhale, reach up through your right arm. Again, option to sit on a block. And then twist towards your left leg. Maybe you can hook your elbow to the outside of the left knee. Maybe you can just hug that left knee in towards your right elbow crease. Keep feeling sitting bones pressing down into the floor. Keep lifting and lengthening through your spine. Nice squeeze through the middle of the torso. Turning back towards your right, just take both hands to the mat, take a breath, twisting in the opposite direction. Half butterfly. From here, keep the right knee bent and just open out towards the left side of the mat, extending your left leg long. So your right heel is still bent in towards you. Again, lift up the hips, sit up on a block if you need. Maybe you're just here. Maybe you can start to walk your hands forward, stacking the fists or folding in half here. Stretching through the inseam of the left leg. And coming all the way back up, place all 10 fingertips to the front of the mat. Tuck the left toes under, step it back, downward facing dog. Holding in down dog or vinyasa. Listening to your own body. Whatever you need. 5 breaths in your down dog, or maybe taking the knees wide, big toes to touch. Taking those breaths in, extended child's pose. And notice if you can already feel some changes in your body. This nice bit of warming sensation around the front of the hips, the inseams of the legs. Creating some flow through the pelvis, through the hips, helping to connect our upper body down to the lower body and vice versa. Often a lot of tension gets caught in around the hips and pelvis, where about 30 muscles connect up. When you're ready, let's rise back up into our down dog. Taking this once more on the left side, on the right side this time. So it's inhale, right leg high to the sky. Warrior 2, step the right foot between your hands, lower the left heel. Inhale, rise up. Right knee over right ankle, right arm reaching to the front of your mat, extended side angle. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, right elbow to the front thigh, sweep the left arm. Turn your chin up towards that left bicep. Keep length through the back leg. Holding here, sticking with your breath. Sticking with the challenge, belly towards the spine, chest pressing up towards the sky. Inhale, rise up into your star. Turning the right foot parallel with the left, reach the fingertips. Exhale, goddess squat, heels in, toes out, sitting down. Holding here, or always that challenge of lifting your heels up. Keeping on remembering that neutral pelvic bowl. There's always sometimes a tendency to stick the buttocks out. Keep seeing if you can drop them down. Inhale up into your star. Warrior two towards the back of your mat. Exhaling, left knee above the left ankle, left toes pointing to the back of your mat. Right heel turning parallel with the back of your mat. Extended side angle. Inhale, reach left arm forward. Exhaling, sweeping down. You've got it. Star pose. Inhale, press into that left foot, rise up. Toes parallel, pivoting on that left heel. Enjoy this relaxation moment almost for the hips. And then again, sit down into your goddess squat. Choosing if you need a little bit of juicy sway side to side, whether you can just find some stillness in the challenge here. Maybe it's hovering the heels. Inhale up to star. Warrior two, back to the front of the mat. Extended side angle, reach right arm. Letting it drop, sweeping that left arm. Both sides of the body are extending. Back legs lengthening, strengthening the legs. Maybe you take the bind. It's that right hand reaching under to hold the left wrist. Inhale, rise up into your star. Exhale, goddess squat, heels in, knees opening back, sitting down, holding here. Inhale, reach up to star. Warrior two to the back of your mat, left knee over left ankle, pivoting that right heel back. Extended side angle. Maybe taking the bind, left fingertips crawling up the right wrist. Stick in there, finding your own variations. And releasing up to star. Inhale. Prasarita Padottanasana, fold forward. Keeping the feet parallel and wide, letting your hands drop to hold the ankles or calves. Legs can be straight, or if the legs are needing some bend through the back of the knees, let yourself do that. Try to keep finding length through your spine. Let's add the twist. Left hand underneath your face, right arm up to the sky. Inhale. And then take that right hand all the way behind the left, holding onto the left calf, turning your torso towards the left leg. Sorry, you've got a terrible view at the moment. And uncurl, reaching the right arm up. Switching to the other side. This time the left arm reaches to the sky, ground into the right palm. Exhale, sweep it all the way through, taking a hold of your right calf or ankle. And we place all 10 fingertips to the front of the mat. Lift up the right toes, turn them back towards the front of the mat. We're moving into that Ardha Matsyendrasana twist now. So it's the left knee to come to the pinky toe edge of the right foot. Then sit your buttocks down to the left side of the right heel. Take the right fingertips behind you, reach up through the left arm. Maybe hooking the elbow to the outside of your right knee, maybe just hugging that right thigh in towards you, right knee in that left elbow crease. Press the sitting bones down, squeezing through the torso. Take a breath in the opposite direction, inhaling both hands over to the left side of the mat. And then we uncurl into that half butterfly, so keeping the left heel bent in towards you. Extend the right leg long, maybe elevate the hips sitting onto something. Maybe you just hold here, maybe you start to fold forward. Resting your head. Awesome work, everyone. Bringing your hands back up towards you. Taking them to the front of the mat. Let those right toes tuck under, downward facing dog. Left foot meets the right. Final vinyasa. Holding in down dog if you need, or ripple forward. Chaturanga, or onto your belly. Enjoy that opening across the front of the hips as you draw the shoulders back. Downward facing dog, exhale. Extended child's pose, knees wide, big toes towards one another, sitting your buttocks back towards your heels, or maybe there's a cushion underneath your buttocks. Bring your forehead down towards the mat. And if your head's far up away from the mat, maybe placing a pillow or book underneath your head. Noticing what is present for you now as you hold in this shape. Can you connect back in with your breath? Slowing it back to that inhale of 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale of 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 4, 3, 2, 1. Any of you beginners or new to the practice, just staying in your extended child's pose. Otherwise, an option to move into your frog pose. So the inner thighs should be nice and warm now. If you can, start to heel toe the knees a little wider, bringing your heels out in line with your knees. If you need a little bit of padding under your knees, maybe turning to the long edge of your mat. And you're going to start to, again, walk your way forward. Maybe you can rest on your elbows. Maybe you can bring your forehead down to rest on the backs of your palms. Again, you're your own best guide. Listen to your body. Know that it's not about the final shape. Noticing everything else along the way. And if you've moved into your frog, gently bringing your hands back underneath your shoulders. If you're in your extended child's pose as well, just moving now into traditional child's pose. So we're all going to bring the knees to close together. Bring the inside edges of our feet together and just round through the spine, bringing your forehead onto the mat and letting your palms face up alongside your heels. So it's like you're giving yourself a little hug. And send some breath down towards your lower back. And then start to uncurl your spine, bringing yourself upright. We're going to shimmy the legs around in front of us and lie down onto our backs for a happy baby. So taking the soles of your feet as if you were walking on the sky and seeing if you can catch a hold of the pinky toe edges of your feet, or if that's too difficult, maybe just hugging your forearms around the back of your thighs, interlacing your fingers and squeezing your knees down towards your armpits, wherever you are. And just notice what your body's wanting, maybe just to hold in stillness. Maybe it wants to rock a little side to side. Maybe you want to extend one leg and then the other. And release your feet. Cross your right knee over your left and take your hands and see if you can hug your left shin. So hands onto the left shin and hugging both knees in towards your chest. It's like a reclined shoelace, that stacking of the knee shape we did earlier. And if this feels easy, maybe sliding your hands down towards the top of your ankles and starting to draw your heels towards your hips. Let your hands release, come into a twist, both arms out at shoulder height, dropping your knees over towards the left, and maybe keeping your gaze to the ceiling, or if it feels okay in your neck, turning your gaze back towards your right hand. And as we start to slow down our practice, feeling again the parts of your body connected to the mat and letting yourself almost feel a little heavier, surrendering into your mat. Bringing the knees back to center, switching the cross of your legs, this time left knee on top of right, reaching the hands up, seeing if you can interlace fingers over the right shin, drawing that right shin in towards you. And again, if this feels easy, maybe taking a hold of the ankles and drawing them down, heels towards your hips. Reclined shoelace. Releasing into the twist, reaching your arms out at shoulder height, dropping both knees over towards the right. Then gazing back, maybe to the ceiling, maybe to your left hand. Bringing both knees back to center, release the cross of your legs. Taking whatever prop you've got, be it a pillow or a book or a block, coming into a supported bridge. So you're going to bring the block or whatever you've got underneath your sacrum or your lower back. And depending on what height you've got, release your palms to face down alongside your hips and just feel the soles of your feet planted on the mat. If you haven't got any prop at all, just come into a traditional bridge. Just want to give the front of those hips a nice little bit of opening. It'd be really nice with a prop just to feel yourself able to relax into it. And we take a final waterfall, keeping that prop if you've got underneath the lower back. We reach both heels up towards the sky, both hands up towards the sky. I think it's also called dead ant or something. Just letting the blood drain from your feet, drain from your hands, feeling the lower back supported by your prop or mat beneath you. And we release down, finding our final Shavasana, lying down on your back. Roll your shoulder blades underneath you. Take up a little bit of space. Let your eyes close down. Letting everything soften and release. Silently repeating to yourself, my toes, my feet, my ankles, soften and relax. My shins, my calves, my knees, soften and relax. My thighs, my hamstrings, my buttocks, soften and relax. My pelvis, my hips, soft and relaxed. My torso, my spine, soft and relaxed. My shoulders, my chest, soft and relaxed. My arms, my hands, my fingers, soft and relaxed. My face, my mouth, my tongue, my jaw, soft and relaxed. My eyes, my eyebrows, my brow, the crown of my head, soft and relaxed. Nothing left to do. Just taking this time of rest, letting your body absorb all of the benefits of your practice. Happiness cannot be traveled to, owned, earned, worn, or consumed. Happiness is the spiritual experience of living in every moment with love, grace, and gratitude. Slowly starting to draw your attention back. Wiggling your fingers and toes. Giving yourself a big stretch, reaching your arms up overhead, legs lengthening away from you. And rolling onto one side, whatever side feels good. Taking a few breaths on your side. Just allowing your practice to have been enough. And when you're ready, pressing yourself back up, finding a comfortable seat, cross-legged or kneeling, maybe elevating the hips again on a pillow. Taking some gentle adjustments, maybe you can feel it's a little bit easier to sit cross-legged after all of that juicy hip opening. Taking a final moment, hands together at your heart space, closing the eyes down. Just a final scan, noticing any shifts, the effects of your practice. And we bring the thumbs up between the eyebrows to our third eye, bowing to one another. Namaste. Namaste.